Even when I'm on location, I screw it up. Welcome to Before Flory on the Five Reasons Sports YouTube channel. I'm coming to you live from Quarterdeck, although Alejandro just changed my position. Coming to you live from Quarterdeck in Sunrise, site of our second watch party of the season. We are 1-0. I don't want to hear about any jinxes. We're here for Heat Nuggets, although people are actually watching the Panthers and Rangers right now. This is kind of known as a Panthers bar, but we're gonna take over with some Heat people tonight. Also, obviously, Monday Night Football. Let me go through the panel. We've got Ricky J. Mark. He's in France, or maybe not. We've got Greg Sylvander. He's in one of the Carolinas. Not really important which one. We got Alejandro Vegas, our producer. We've got Jonathan. He tells me he's not really in Orlando, but he's relatively close. I was in your area this weekend. And then we got Brady Hawk, who's about 20 feet down from me, trying not to get an echo. And he's here with us at Quarterdeck tonight. So come out if you want to. We're probably going to be here till about 11:30 or midnight. We'll try to figure out a place to do a podcast from here later as well. So also, of course, catch Post Up 5R with Royal Shepherd and the rest of the crew. They'll be on right after the game, probably a little bit before we get the podcast up. So if you want to check that out, you certainly can. But come out to Quarterdeck. We've got some hats, some shirts. I've got some Bubble Dribbles shirts. I think we're going to get rid of those tonight because I think a certain former Heat center is on them. So if you want any of those will definitely be free tonight. You can also get the hats that Greg and Alejandro are wearing. Let's get to it, though. Heat Nuggets tonight. Brady, you're down. I could have just asked you this when you walked in, but because we're talking to a lot of people right now, who's playing, who's not?
Yeah, for Denver, no Michael Porter Jr., which Malone said before the game that he's out for the unforeseeable future, so we don't really know that situation. They don't really have many wings, so we could be in store for a Jimmy Butler type game. And then for Miami, the recovery speed continues because Max Strus was somehow questionable. Now he's probably not going to play. He was intended to warm up, but he's not going to play. But it's just crazy how these guys continue to just speed up the process. And a guy sprains his ankle, comes back the next game. Max Strus looked like it was going to could be season threatening, and now he's already questionable. So that's the update.
Yeah, you know what's actually surprising about this is usually it's the other direction with the Heat. They say it's day to day, and the guy comes back 3 years later. But in this case, it's actually being sped up. All right, so Greg, let's get to it then. We know the history in Denver. It's not good, but a little bit of a difference here. Usually, and I did a bunch of these road trips, I saw some 30-point losses in Denver right up close, okay? But typically, it was the second night of a back-to-back. Like 4 straight years, it was like the second night of a back-to-back coming in from L.A. Like every single time. They played the Lakers and the Clippers, and they were in Denver the next night. And it was one of those nights that Dwayne always made sure to take off. And it was always great because Mike Miller would say to me in LA, he's like, I think I'm going to start tomorrow. And that's pretty much what ended up happening because Dwayne didn't want to play those games in Denver. But the Nuggets are not really playing that well. Again, Porter's out, but they've been terrific with Jokic on the floor, but they have been horrible with him off the floor.
It's true. And they're winning games in weird ways in the few wins. What are they, 4-4 now? What's their record?
500.
5-4. Sorry. Something that struck me as I was looking at some of the pregame notes is that they went 9 for 40 in their win over the Rockets on Saturday from 3. And they have made fewer than 10 threes in 6 of the 9 games. So they're doing this thing where they're not hitting threes, and it's bizarre. And I'm interested to see how Miami reacts to it. Cause you're right. When Jokic is on the floor, I think he's leading them in every statistical category. I think I saw that buzzing across Twitter recently. But when he's not out there, they're a really weird team right now. The Heat, you feel like the Heat should win, but because it's in Denver, we all feel reluctant to say yes, right?
Yeah, we do. Now, Jamal Murray, of course, still out, which is a part of the shooting problems this year, but they overcame him to a certain degree last season. Jonathan, let's get to it, though. We talk about, with the Heat, I feel like, everybody freaked out after the Boston game. Maybe they're not the team we think they are. And then the Utah game, and Brady's article really hit on this, some strategic changes that really helped in the third quarter with P.J. Tucker and others. And then they have the collapse at the end of the game. I will say I didn't watch it live. I was listening to Jason Jackson freak out. I can't imagine if I'd been driving back from Orlando listening to Mike Inglis during that.
Oh, no.
Seriously, I would have driven into a ditch.
They're just lucky that the clock ran out.
Well, that's it, Jonathan. So what do we take from the Utah game? They beat the team that has been, other than Golden State, the best team in the West so far. But again, nearly, pissed it away at the end, to be frank.
I mean, there's still some good things you can take away from that game. Like you said, towards the end, it almost felt like the game 2 of Dallas in the finals collapse, where you had that big lead and they just went cold. Isolation, everything wasn't really moving the ball that much. But before that, I felt like we were doing a great job. Right, they were the number 1 seed in the West. Rudy Gobert dominating the paint. Bam Adebayo was able to draw him out a little bit. Kyle Lowry got his first triple double. We were doing great on the boards against a team that's relatively big against us, honestly. So that we're still doing good on the boards overall. We're still, I think, out rebounding teams, and we're still, I think, top 3 in the league in rebounding. So we can still take that away. Denver isn't the best rebounding team, and like you said, if you take away Michael Porter Jr. already, and then once Jokic off the floor, they're really not a good rebounding team. So we can still do that. And defensively, we're going to have to create offense from defense, right? Yeah, Denver is a bottom 7 in turnovers in the league. If we're able to create offense from those little mistakes that Denver makes, we know it's already hard to win there. We got to capitalize on every little thing that we can.
Ricky, it's been a strange start to the season in general in the NBA. There are some teams that we thought, would get off to good starts. The Bucks, one of them. I know they haven't been totally healthy, but to see where their record is, we look at the Nuggets. Obviously, the Lakers. Now it looks like LeBron's going to have an extended absence. The Clippers, I think we thought might be 500 because not having Kawhi. But if you look at what's happened so far in the year, again, the fact that the Heat are one of the few teams that has actually lived up to expectations so far, a team that was considered to be a top 4 team in their conference that has lived up to expectations. I mean, where do you kind of put these litmus tests at this point? They've beaten the Jazz, right? They've beaten the Bucks. They've beaten the Nets. And now they get another team that, has been a semifinalist in recent years in Denver.
I think we need to think of 2 things. One, the Heat's defense have allowed them to be consistent. Some nights the shots aren't falling, but their defense has gotten them through to the end, even when you're talking about a potential catastrophe against Utah over the weekend. That's 1. 2, I think we also have to understand that I know Heat fans love getting excited, and rightfully so to a certain extent, about these early wins. It's early, okay? The absentee ballots haven't come in yet. Don't call the election. It's early. A lot of these guys are hurt. A lot of these guys are built for deep playoff runs. Revisit this in April, because the teams you're beating today might not be the teams you beat later on or have to play later on. And I guess this is a bit of a bonus. Lastly, it's good that Miami is taking advantage of these because, one, in this Eastern Conference, every win is going to matter. That's going to be super important down the line in terms of playoff seeding and the like. And lastly, ultimately, it's a confidence builder. When you got a team that is relatively newly assembled, you want to go out and see that all the hard work you're doing in the gym is working out. And so far, it has, to the tune of a 7-2 record. It's one of the reasons why I think Miami takes it, even with everything that's been happening.
All right, don't get to the picks just yet because those are going to be sponsored by our friend Mark Brown here in a second. So we'll hold off. We are sponsored as always by Biscayne Bay Brewing. By the way, I was just inside at the Quarterdeck. We're having this watch party tonight. It's right there on the menu. You can get the Marlins Lager right here. I'm sure they have the Tropical Bay IPA back there if you ask for it. Biscayne Bay Brewing, the official beer of the 5 Reasons Sports Network, the Miami Marlins. And also, they have a couple of kiosks there at the Heats Arena FTX. So make sure you check it out. Ask for it by name. But it's great beer, and it'll be here tonight. No, Brady can't have any of it. All right, let's get to because I'm not responsible for that. But anyway, let's get to the next part of this because we haven't really talked about players here yet. But Kyle Lowry, like this evolution from people being like a little nervous about where the scoring was to now triple doubles that he's putting up with sort of with high end scoring. But at the same time, the one guy who didn't get it going in the last game, so we're still hearing about it, is Duncan Robinson. I'll start here, Brady, with you. When are we going to get the Duncan Robinson game? You called these all of last season. We haven't had one yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to call these because you just really don't know when it's come along. You keep saying it's going to come along. Like, I think we all believe that he's been doing other things well, that it's just shooting, and I don't think any of us really expected that, but I wasn't really worried up to this point, but I feel like you get 5 more games down the line and it's still not falling and you're having 1 for 5 nights or you're shooting double digits and you're not getting those high percentages, like then it starts getting worrisome. If this was happening last season, like it would be a completely different story. This team's squeaking out wins no matter what because you're getting the Tyler Hero effect. You're getting Kyle Lowry getting triple doubles like this. So it's being hidden a little bit. We didn't hear it as much last game, but he was 1 for 5, and I feel like that wasn't discussed just because they squeaked out a win against Utah. So he's going to be the scapegoat all season. If they lose games, like that's just the way they're going to go about it. But one of these games, it's going to click. I just kind of understand that I don't think he's just kind of lost his shooting ability and kind of reverted back in any way after the contract.
I feel like we're all in agreement, and tell me if I'm wrong, that Tyler Hero coming off the bench is the right move at this point, that it has worked out for him. Even he has said publicly, I don't know if he really feels this way, that he's comfortable there. We've talked about the reasons why it made sense. Well, some of us have some betting reasons why that also makes sense, so we really don't want to change there. If you're going to bet, by the way, go to betus.com, use the code 5, F-I-V-E, and you'll get that bonus. But again, there does come a point, Greg, right? I mean, if this goes, like Brady said, like another 5 games, another 6 games, and there's no 4 for 9 in there, right? Like there's no game where he elevates them, okay? It seems like, to a degree, Brady kind of mentioned this, they're carrying him a little bit right now, which was not the case last season, right? Like at what point, does it become concerning to you? And at what point do you say, okay, we'll deal with the fact there's no creator on the bench until Oladipo comes back. They don't have Strus just yet, but try Hero in the starting lineup. Or for that matter, maybe Strus comes into the starting lineup at some point if you want to keep Hero where he's at. I don't know if Greg.
I think Ethan. I think to Brady's point, Duncan. I know we definitely talk about it on the post up, which comes on immediately after the final buzzer on 5 Reasons Sports YouTube. Cheap plug. You're welcome. I'll tell you what I told the guys on the post up over the weekend. This is a long-term situation. I have faith in Duncan Robinson, and if I were to do the historian thing, remember at one point during the 05-06 season, Antoine Walker was getting boos at the American Airlines Arena, and lo and behold, what happened? Next thing you know, he's the second leading scorer in the NBA Finals with the Heat. So with a guy like a shooter like Duncan Robinson, eventually, shout out to Royal A. Shepherd, by the way. At this point, look, he's going to keep shooting through it, and eventually those shots are going to fall. And matter of fact, another historical reference, Mike Miller. There were times when he wasn't playable because of injury, and 7 threes and 1 NBA Finals Game 5 later, he's a Heat legend. It's only a matter of time.
No, for sure. I want to make sure I read the comments. Oladipo update. By the way, David Caesar, we appreciate anybody who sends us money so that I can buy drinks here. We are definitely going to read your comment. The latest I've heard on Oladipo, frankly, and I wish I had more for you, is the same. That he's progressing. He hasn't had any significant setbacks. We had heard roughly December. I think it's going to be a little longer because I think it's going to take him roughly 3 to 4 weeks, no matter what, to get into game shape when he comes back. I haven't seen him up close lately. I will say, he looked like he was a little heavier than he was during his best playing days, so I think that's going to take a little bit of time. But I also think they can be more patient with him. They won't say this publicly. They can be more patient with Oladipo if they're playing well. There's no reason to rush him back if you're getting production off the bench, not just from Hero, but from others. He's like in their back pocket. Like it wouldn't stun me if it's All-Star break that we see him back, even if he might have been able to come back a little bit sooner. I know Greg agrees with that assessment just generally. All right, we're going to get to the picks here. Before we do, I want to tell you about another sponsor of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Actually needs him to do something for me this week. He's the guy I go to. If you have any kind of money concerns, he certainly can help you out with your estate planning, but also if you're closing on a property, this is where you want to go. He's our friend Mark Brown. You can find him at markbrownpa.com, markbrownpa.com, M-A-R-C, brownpa.com. He may actually come out here to the watch party tonight. markbrownpa.com is where you want to go. He's based right there off of Cypress Creek and Andrews, just there in North Lauderdale in that area, right off of I-95. And again, he can help you with your estate planning. And if you're closing on a property on either side of the deal, you want to make sure you reach out to him. His office did a tremendous job handling a difficult situation for me a couple of months ago, which is why I'm sending everybody to him. MarkBrownPA.com. You don't want to screw around when you're doing your closing, right? That falls apart. You've got all kinds of issues, especially in this kind of real estate market. So check it out. Mark Brown, M-A-R-C, BrownPA.com, and also a big Miami sports fan. All right, let's get to the picks. Everybody's welcome to come out here to Quarterdeck tonight. Going to throw out some appetizers here. The chintzy leader of the Five Reasons Sports Network is actually going to dip into his pocket. So make sure you get out here soon because it's not going to last all night. All right, let's start with Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you like tonight?
I mean, I got to go with Miami no matter what, right? I feel like this season we've broke some of the bad luck things we've got going on, right? I feel like this might be one of the other things. I think like you said, we've gone into Denver kind of always a little battered and beaten up. I feel like this time we're going in a little more fresh. We have a little momentum on our side. We're going to have to make sure that we move the ball, right? In our 2 losses, we only have 18 assists. In our wins, we have 25 or more. So we got to make sure we keep moving the ball. And then make sure I get some threes to fall, right? I think we're going to have to do every single thing possible just to make it a little bit easier to win in that tough building. If Duncan can get it going, or even if Duncan, Kyle, and Hero, if he can get some going, PJ can hit a corner 3 or 2, I think we end up getting a win tonight.
Brady?
Yeah, I think the thing I'm going to focus on, or everybody's going to focus on, is the defense in this game. They faced a couple good bigs, but they haven't faced a Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. And I think this team suits that better. I think they defend that type of guy better, not just because Bam Adebayo added 10 to 15 pounds, but it's because they have no weak links in rotations that they are able to just double those guys all night. So that's what I kind of expect. I think they're going to just throw 2 guys at Jokic all night. It's probably going to be Bam and probably a little bit of PJ and Jimmy mixed in there. So that's what I'm going to be focused on. I think this is one of those games that they hold them under 100 again, and I think this should be another night for Jimmy Butler, which I think I've said before every single game, but it's pretty accurate because Jimmy Butler's been doing it every single game.
Ricky?
Yeah, I think the Heat are actually going to be able to pull this one out. I don't think they care. I don't think this roster cares about the curse in Denver. I really don't. At this point, Jokic is potentially an all-timer. He's definitely a top 100 all-time player. But here's the thing. The same thing I said about Luka Doncic just the other day. He can't beat this Heat team by himself. This team defense is going to handle the other 4 guys, and Jokic is essentially going to be on one, hopefully very sturdy island. I think this Heat team is going to be just fine tonight. They're going to pull it out.
Greg?
No ceiling. We'll take care of Jokic. And look, I think that the Heat get this by 3. And PJ Tucker is your prize picks play of the night.
Wow.
He is 4 points over under. Take the over on PJ Tucker.
4 points? That's disrespectful that they even put him on the board. But if you're going to do it, if you're going to do it, use the code 5, FIVE. We always mention that. Here's the thing. Again, I think I am, or the Heat were, I should say, 1-9 in games I covered in Denver through the years. 1-9. So that colors my thinking a little bit. But we're 1-0 in watch parties. And so I'm going with that. I'm going to ride that streak until it stops. And I'm going to say that they win tonight. I don't think it'll be easy. I think the key tonight is Kyle Lowry. There you go. Kyle Lowry putting Jokic in a bunch of pick and rolls. I think you're going to see more pick and rolls tonight than we've typically seen the Heat running. I think it's going to be Lowry and Bam. It's going to be Lowry and Jimmy. But it's going to be Bam and it's going to be Bam and Jimmy. Okay, I think they're going to get Jokic to move his feet. I just don't think Denver, without Murray and without Porter, has enough at this point. I do think they're going to be really difficult to deal with later in the season, but I don't like them at this stage of the season. I think that the Heat win tonight, and I think you should come celebrate with us out at Quarterdeck. So we're going to be out at Quarterdeck at Sunrise. Again, this is the one, Sunrise Plantation. It's the one near Sawgrass Mills, right? This is where the Panthers are going to have their parade, right here at the Sawgrass Mills parking lot, because I think that's the only place they could really do it. We're right here at the Quarterdeck. So come hang out with me, Brady. We got Alfredo. We got Alex Dono. Manny Chang's coming by tonight. So we're going to have a pretty good crew. And Alex Toledo will get here by the 4th quarter, but you can say hello to him too. All right. Alejandro's going to take it from here. Greg will be hosting a podcast tonight. I have no idea with who or what state I'm going to be in, but Brady's going to be sober, so probably with him. Have a good night.
Drink responsibly.
All right. Thank you guys for being with us here on the pregame show. Miami Heat visiting Denver once again with the 7-2 record so far. So let's go ahead and listen to some of the press conferences after the 118-115 win against the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. We have some comments around here. Thank you to our friend Royal Shepherd. to our friend Welsh, our friend F. Bonate, 2007. Let's remind you guys, for all of you that love our coverage, we are doing pace and spaces in the halftime show. So tune in. You make sure you tune in on Twitter with our friends Sean, Tony. They're going to be taking care of it. Marco, and maybe some of the other guys that are around covering the team. So let's go ahead and listen to some of the press conferences, and then we will get ready to watch the game tonight. Remember, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Miami Heat against the Denver Nuggets. Let's go ahead and let's start with Eric Spoelstra after the 3-point win against the Utah Jazz. Here we go.
You often tell us how it's the NBA, the three-pointer, comebacks happen, so you're up 19 with about 5 minutes to go. Take us through what was in your head the last 5 minutes of the game.
I mean, even before that, I thought about, making a couple subs, and then I just figured, hey, let's go for the kill. And didn't turn out that way. But, at the end of the day, I think, all these experiences, particularly for a semi-new team early in the season, I think are really important to go through these kind of experiences, late game situations, learning how to hold on to a lead, how to play. We slowed down a little bit offensively, but they made every single play going down the other end, it seemed like. And I just think it was really important, to go through that. Obviously, it's always better, if you can do that and get a win. There's certainly some things we can take from that and learn, but I don't want to take away from the 45 minutes before that. It was really good basketball. It was a good high-level basketball game. Utah is extremely good. You can see just even how they just play off each other, move the ball, drive, kick. They find the open guy, which is what we expected. We expected a high-level competition.
I know you guys have a lot of different guys who are comfortable in the mid-range, but the efficiency tonight from that area of the court, how important was it against this Utah defense?
Well, yeah, it's not like, their defensive system is going to give up a bunch of layups and, wide open threes. They do that extremely well, so you have to be able to find different things to go to on your menu. And I think, we did a pretty good job of getting to what we wanted to get to, and you have to take the shots that are available, and then ideally be efficient, in those areas. You can't live in specific areas. They're too good, defensively. You have to just kind of manage your menu and work the game accordingly. And I thought we did a pretty good job with that. They're a very good defensive team.
What did you think of the minutes that Caleb Martin provided tonight?
Yeah, I thought he gave us a real energy spark. Defensively, he gave us some speed and quickness to be able to defend their small ball lineups. And then in transition, obviously that was an electrifying finish of the alley-oop, but it gave us real quality minutes. And now this is 2 games where he's really impacted and helped us win.
When we asked you about Kyle the other day, you said he's like Jimmy. He's going to say he's fine. He's going to do what he has to do, and that's that. To see him go from questionable to triple-double, and especially the force that he began the game with and set the tone, what more have you learned does that tell you about Kyle as this relationship grows?
Well, elite high-level competitors know that, you have to be on it, against a team like Utah. They have the best record in the league, best point differential. Everybody in our locker room has great respect for their program and how they play and, what they can do to you if you're not, on top of your game. And Kyle really set the tone, for that. The triple-double, just shows that he can impact the game in a lot of different ways. And then in terms of, his injury, I quite honestly don't know him well enough, to know whether I need to step in and tell him, no, you should not play. I think with a lot of guys, if you've sprained your ankle a bunch of times, then, you actually recover quicker. You just have to go through all those times where you've sprained it, which sucks. But he had a really good day of treatment yesterday and today.
it looked like a second half adjustment was putting PJ on Conley. So when the switch came, he dropped on to Gobert. Just what did you think about that stretch in the third quarter?
Yeah, every plan that you have, it gets tested in a different way, when you're playing against really good competition. So Gobert's not easy, to be able to switch a guy onto him, particularly if it's a smaller guy. He does a great job of rolling and being big and putting pressure on smaller guys, drawing fouls. That just allowed us to have a bigger body, on him. But then there's a lot of unintended consequences, when you start doing stuff like that.
In the past, Bam has struggled against a bigger body like Rudy Gobert. What was the key to him having such an efficient night? Was it just simply pulling him away from the basket and shooting that mid-range shot?
No, it was on all facets of the menu. I thought he did a really good job of screening. I thought he did a great job of helping other guys get shots. His floor game has really improved, and then his mid-range jump shot has dramatically improved, not just this summer but over the course of 2 years. And you're going to have to make a decent amount of those against a team like Utah. And Bam's confidence level is going through, it's really growing, each game. And those were the right reads. And I thought he just played a really efficient game on both ends. And defensively, to be able to, do what we were asking him to do, there's just not a lot of centers in the league that can do that.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Eric Spoelstra again after that win against the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. So our friend F. Bonato is asking here, what's the over and under for Duncan Robinson tonight? So for all of you that have the Prize Picks app right here, it's 11 right now. You have 32 minutes until the game starts to make your pick for tonight on Prize Picks. And if you're new to Prize Picks, you can use the promo code 5FIVE, and then you'll get at a 100% match on your deposit. So if you're gonna play with 5 reasons, so you can actually play double the money. I mean, if you deposit $100, they give you another 100, and you can play with 200 tonight. So there you go. Yes, it says, well, for me it's 11. I don't know if it's changed, depending. I mean, it's going to be changing, so go ahead. You still have half an hour to pick it up. So all right, let's continue listen to some of the press conferences from the Miami Heat. Let's go now with Bam Adebayo. Here we go. Bam, your time to shine.
The opponent came in tied with the best record in the league. How significant a step forward would you say this is for your team, especially coming off of what we saw Thursday, a little bit of a blip, and then to get all you guys, you and Jimmy and Kyle and Tyler and Caleb and just about everyone back in lockstep, back on the right track?
Just a reminder, we're not we have to keep that same energy. Teams aren't just going to give us W's because, at this point, teams are starting to look at us, figure us out, try to see the way to stop us. So we can't come in with that lack of energy, lack of toughness. We need to bring that physicality and that effort every night.
Kyle started the night questionable with the sprained ankle. He played today, got a triple-double. Seems to pick his spots in different games when he needs to be aggressive, when he doesn't need to be. What have you learned about Kyle, the player, over this first few weeks of the season, just playing alongside him?
He wants the best available shot every possession. That's what I really like about Kyle. He's one of those guys. He wants, every play to be right. Doesn't make or miss. He doesn't care. He just wants to get the right play every time.
Bam, I know you're not a guy who likes to campaign for awards, but Rudy's won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Does that stick in your mind when you're going up against him in that matchup, and what maybe that could mean later on in the year?
Nah, it don't. People want to say what they want to say. I mean, you can't knock what the guy does. He was that for a reason.
From your perspective out on the floor, what was it that you saw from Utah that allowed him to come back late in the fourth quarter?
mean, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I don't like the guy that well, but yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
Bam, like 2 years ago, it seemed like teams with length who played a lot of drop coverage. Teams that played a lot of drop coverage, they were still like a learning experience for you a couple of years ago. And now, is this the most comfortable and confident you feel against like that heavy drop?
Yeah, Jimmy keeps giving me the confidence to shoot the ball. So there's no option. It's either shoot the ball or Cal and Jimmy curse at me. I mean, it's one or the other. So more shot attempts, less turnovers.
All right, Bam. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people. Here's Jimmy Butler, the third.
So that was Bam Adebayo talking again after the Miami Heat win against the Utah Jazz. So let's continue reading to some of you guys' messages. Let's see, Tony Morales. Duncan's going 5 for 8 tonight. Hopefully, our friend Clemente 3472 says Heat find a blow, do shoot out. Tony Morales says Caleb Martin going for 10. Ethan Carter, let's go Heat. These road games are easy peasy. PR crazy, please. We need that Jimmy and Duncan. F Bonate 2007 says, I love that twin too. Has been balling. Caleb Martin, been a minute since we've seen someone flying around like that. The Derek Jones Jr. vibes. Well, hopefully he can. Actually, I think he can be way better than Derek Jones Jr. All right, let's continue with our pregame show here. Thank you to all of you that are just joining us. We're waiting for the Miami Heat to actually publish the starting lineup for tonight's matchup against the Denver Nuggets. So let's continue listening to some press conferences. And the next one is Jimmy Butler. Let's go with Jimmy Butler.
Teams in the league, you look at it as being up 19 with 5 minutes to go, harrowing at the finish. What's sort of your takeaway from the entire process of the night?
That we won, which is all that matters. Whether it's by 1 or 21 or 31, for that matter, as long as we win, we did our job.
Jimmy, just to follow up on what Bam was just saying. With
About
him,
PSG?
No.
Oh.
Against teams with a lot of length and drop coverage, is this the most comfortable and confident he looks playing into that kind of scheme?
Yeah. I think he makes everybody's job easier whenever we know what he's going to do. If you're back there, just shoot it. Therefore, you don't got to worry about no turnovers because you're throwing the ball at the basket. And then if you do happen to miss, which he doesn't often, other people get to pad their stats, get an offensive rebound, maybe kick it out to T Hero for a 3. 2 for 1.
What did you think of the performance of Caleb Martin today?
He smoked the layup, man. How many assists I had? 9? Oh, never mind, 6. He smoked the layup. That's all I gotta say. He stinks.
Jimmy, watching you on Kyle's passes, it almost looks like you're a tight end out there.
Don't do that.
There was even one play.
Wide receiver.
Okay, wide receiver. There was even one play where it looked like you might have committed offensive pass interference when you had to go up and clear with an arm. Do you sort of feel football-esque in those moments when the ball's coming in and the cornerback or safety is going against you?
Look, man, I've been telling this guy named Theodis Smith for I don't know how long now. Like, I got the best hands in the league, for sure on this team. If you throw it up there, it's like 108% chance that I'm going to catch it. And Kyle does a great job of putting me in that position. I'm comfortable doing that, but I think I'm a wide receiver at heart, not a tight end. Don't do me.
All right, Jimmy, thank you.
All right, that was Jimmy Butler talking about his ability to catch those long passes coming from Kyle Lowry. So we're still waiting for the Miami Heat to post the starting lineup. It should be the same one that they used on Saturday night against the Utah Jazz, but we're waiting for it to actually make sure that we do it right away. All right, so we have more messages here. Peter Crazy, Duncan and Jimmy Production, Thiago Barroso, probably from Brazil. Is the game going to be on TV? Let me check real quick for all of you that are asking. Let me check here on my app because I watch it through League Pass sometimes. Let me see which TV station is going to be broadcasting this game. This game is only going to be available on League Pass, so not on TV tonight. That's Sad news, but it is what it is. To watch it, just on League Pass. Sorry. Carlos Escamilla. Hopefully Duncan can finally pick it up. 90 millions is a lot of money to miss a lot, man. It's been only 9 games. Have to chill out a little bit. If the Nuggets only have Joker, this is an easy win. League Pass, yes, thank you, son. Well, Bally Sports, sorry, should be also broadcasting the game. So if I don't know where you live, Tiago, I don't know where you live, but if you are here in South Florida, try Bally Sports. That's your best bet to watch the game. Again, the Miami Heat playing against the Denver Nuggets. Miami Heat 7 wins, 2 losses. Denver Nuggets 5 wins, 4 losses today. Hard away game for the Miami Heat. No, we cannot broadcast the game. Hopefully in the future we will be able to actually broadcast the game live. So here we go. Next press conference. Let's go with our friend Tyler Hero, and then we're gonna have Kyle Lowry, and we'll close it out with the starting lineup, hopefully from the Miami Heat tonight. Tyler Hero next.
Early in the fourth to help get up by 19. Then it got a little harrowing. What's it like, though, in all those situations, including at the foul line, to be counted on now as sort of a main guy to help bring it home?
Yeah, I love it. That's what you work for. As a player, you want to be in those final minutes. Being able to help the team try to get a win every single night. So, the game is basketball is a game of runs. We'll have the lead by 10. They'll cut it back down, as you've seen. So, it was a good win for us.
Utah's a team that doesn't give up a lot of threes. You guys have to make a lot of mid-range shots tonight. Do you feel like this roster is kind of suited for that style? I know the mid-range shot is kind of frowned upon in the league now, but you guys have a lot of guys who are efficient from that area of the court.
Yeah, we were just talking about that actually. We have 4 or 5 guys, like you said, on the team that can get into the mid-range area, whether it's a mid-range pull-up or make plays out of the mid-range. So, I think we got a bunch of guys that can do that.
Along those lines, I think it was last year you said, I love drop coverage or something like that. Do you come into nights like this when you know the other team is going to be giving you that cushion, just knowing like the 1-2 dribble pull-up is going to be there for you?
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like I could have been a little bit more efficient tonight, in the mid-range area. But yeah, every time I see a drop coverage, I feel good and feel confident I'm able to make the right reads. And the mid-range is one of the reads.
All right, now we'll go via Zoom and start with Mateo Mayorga.
Tyler, what were the huddles like late in this game?
They were. Everyone was talking, trying to communicate. Get on to the next play. Whatever mistake we had made in the previous run or the 4-minute stretch there, being able to just communicate, make adjustments, and like I said, move on to the next play.
All right, next we'll go to Peter Ortiz.
Hi, Tyler. Peter Ortiz on Fire Media. You're having an amazing year off the bench. Is winning the Sixth Man of the Year a goal you have that you want to accomplish this season?
Maybe. We'll see what happens. I can't say too much, otherwise I'll be on ESPN in the morning.
All right, Tyler, thank you.
I'm sorry, that was Tyler Hero talking at the end about the possibility, or not talking about the possibility of being in track for the Sixth Man of the Year award. He's doing well so far, but it's been only 9 games for the Heat. So we have the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. It's going to be the same one we were expecting. It's PJ Tucker, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and Bam Adebayo. So Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, and Jimmy Butler. That's the starting 5. The first 5 on the floor, as the Miami Heat is publishing right now. And if you love 5 on the floor here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel, remember we're going to have an episode right after the game. We're going to post it on all of our podcast platforms, and then it will be posted here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Remember, if you want our coverage during game, go ahead and join us on Pace and Spaces at halftime, right after the second quarter is over. Go to Twitter, and click on it, and then you can join our spaces there with our guys that we're going to be doing that Pace and Sign spaces during halftime. And then after the game, the post up with Royal Shepherd. That's going to be right after the game is over. So let me see right here our regular starters. Yeah, we have the same starters as usual. Let's go ahead and finish with the last press conference that we have for you guys, and then we'll read some comments, and then we will be out of here to get ready to watch the game. Tonight, Miami Heat versus Denver Nuggets. Kyle Lowry, it's next.
Scoring margin before the long West Coast trip. What's the importance of a victory like this?
What's your question again? I wasn't even paying attention.
Just entering this long trip and who it came up against, and the Jazz with coming with the best record.
It's game 9. It's a good win. We got a good trip coming up. We protected our home, and that was it. And that's a great team over there with a superstar in Donovan Mitchell and great basketball players. So they did a good job, and we found a way to win the game. That's all that really matters. Just continue to get better as a team and continue to get better as a group.
Kyle, Bam was just in here and talking about impressions of you that everything for you is perfection, that you want to do it the right way, and you want to get your teammates to do it the right way. Do you feel in just, I guess, the 2 months you've been with the team now that you're getting across to teammates, and do you feel that they're receptive to that there's only perfection?
Not that it's perfection. It's just that we got to do it the right ways, and you're never going to be perfect, but just kind of making sure that we're on the same page. We're having open lines of communication, and those guys have been great, right? I mean, they've pretty much let me be me and accepted who I am, and as well as everyone else. And when you got a group that just accepts everyone and for who they are, it makes things work, and we respect each other. We respect each other's basketball abilities. We respect each other as men. So that takes it a long way.
Kyle, in the past, when teams have taken big guys and dropped way back off Bam, there's been games when he's been a little hesitant, to shoot the ball or to decide whether to play make or not. How much value is there for you in playing off him and him just being decisive and shooting that mid-range shot when they back off?
And that's what he's gonna have to do. That mid-range shot. I've had a teammate before that, a couple teammates before that, lived off of that shot. And for me, my job is to make the big react and get him that shot. I mean, listen, he shot. I don't know how many he shot tonight. He made a couple. Mostly, I think he made most of them. He missed a couple, but just to get him comfortable with shooting that shot and just continue to get better and expanding his game, it's going to be huge for our team in the long run.
You mentioned earlier in the season that Tyler kind of surprised you. Is it getting to the point where when he has a 29.9 off the bench like this, that it's just not surprising?
No, it's not. He's playing extremely well, and we're going to continue to need this. He got hot. He hit 6 threes. He's just got to continue to keep going, and I think we're giving him the confidence to be him. And, he's just going to keep getting better and better throughout the season.
All right, Kyle, that's it. Thank you.
All right, that was Kyle Lowry again against after the Miami Heat win 118-115 against the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. Thank you very much for all of you that joined us for the pregame show tonight. Let's read some of you guys' comments, and then we'll see what happens. We'll watch a game. That's what happened. Andrew Smith says triple-double. Who gets one tonight? Hopefully Bam gets a triple-double tonight. Stephen Gomez says, yup, Kyle's got the best chances in my opinion. Talking about what? Maybe Tyler Hero about the 6th man of the year. Hopefully he gets that award. Tiago, would you say who gets a triple-double? Jimmy Butler will get a triple-double. That's our friend Tiago's opinion. Let's go with surprise at 1. Bam gets a triple-double. I went with Bam Adebayo as well. JB, Jimmy Butler. I hope Duncan goes 5 for 9 tonight. Our friend Hermes. Max is starting to warm up in practice. He'll be back soon, hopefully. Heat gang, he says. Glad Max is getting healthy. And this channel has multiple hosts. Yes, it does. We are a team of multiple in all, I mean, the United States, because we're not only just in Florida, we have people all over the place, North Carolina, Indiana, and other places here in the US, and hopefully sometime soon outside of the US as well. So thank you very much to all of you that joined us for the pregame show. Miami Heat facing the Denver Nuggets tonight. Again, the starting lineup, the same one as usual: Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, Duncan Robinson, and Kyle Lowry. That's going to be the starting five for the Miami Heat. And once again, we want to invite you guys to join us during our pace and spaces at halftime. Remember, we're going to be there analyzing the first two quarters, adjustments for the second half, and what's going on during the game. And then right after the game, we're going to be live here on the YouTube channel. So remember, come here right after to watch the post-up show here with Royal Shepherd and the crew from 5 Reasons. A couple of more channels here, a couple of more comments. Sorry. Great show. Love you guys. Thank you. Rhino Rules. And I am from North Carolina. Who's over here? Greg. Greg is in one of the Carolinas. I'm not sure which one, but yes, maybe over there. 5 Reasons Sports. Thank you. Heat will win. Thank you. And Polo says, all right, Tyler Hero over 30 points tonight. Well, go to Prize Picks and play Tyler Hero, and hopefully you get a lot of money. Remember, use the promo code 5, F-I-V-E. Have a good night. Enjoy the game, and we will see you at halftime, Pace and Spaces, and then after the game, the post-up with Royal Shepherd. Have a good night.